Mhm. Hello, welcome to our channel. This is
Joshua.
and Kat. We appreciate you stopping by to watch our vlog, our video, our short, whatever you're watching. And we hope that you enjoy it. If you do, please consider liking, commenting,
Subscribing, hyping, whatever you can do. It all helps.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that. Okay, enjoy the video. All right, so today we are talking about the pros and cons of living in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh specifically right now. Um, we didn't have our mics on, so we're
Yeah, we
starting
just
over.
did a very long video with no audio. So
And
we're
like,
going to
it
try to
doesn't
do it
record
again.
it if you don't have it on.
And maybe this one will be better than the last one.
Yeah, hopefully. So should we start with the cons or do the pros this time?
Let's do the cons.
Cons. Okay. So
the bad news first. Give me the bad news.
Okay, so humidity. Humidity is an issue. And it's definitely different. You're in different countries, not like you're just gonna drive and go to go somewhere else and escape the humidity. You're probably gonna find it consistently. Even if you go 6 hours away, you're gonna find humidity and heat. And so you try and dress appropriately, but I tell you, you have a layer of sweat when you go out. I'm from Missouri. It's the same thing when you take a shower, go outside, layer of sweat. You feel like you have to take another shower, and that is definitely something that is uncomfortable. Uncomfortable here. And like today, the UV is strong, so they're like trying to avoid going outside in the sun. So that, how are people going to do that? I don't know how people would do that. But what do you think of the humidity, babe?
Yeah, the humidity is a challenge. I adapted to it about as well as you can, but you do need to be careful. I met somebody here from the US who did not manage it well and ended up in the hospital. He actually was in Indonesia, but they have a similar climate. And they thought he had dengue fever, and it turned out that he just wasn't managing the heat properly. So you do have to be careful. And by managing it properly, that means you don't want to do your shopping in the middle of the day, especially if you're on a motorbike. A lot of people ride scooters or motorbikes around here. You don't want to be out at noon doing that, because that's when obviously the sun is at its peak and the heat is up there too. So
yeah, it's wild because sometimes I'll see my people, they'll be layered, and I'm like, how are they layered? It's so hot. It's like seriously a wall of heat, and they're wearing like layers of things. And I think first of all, they probably acclimated to it, so that's part of it because they grew up here. And then a lot of times they're on their motorcycles or scooters, and that I think that keeps people cooler. And I but it's definitely something. It's definitely something. But we're rolling with it. We're drinking lots of water. We take our umbrellas when we go outside. It doesn't help the humidity, but it keeps the sun from just beating down on you, which would make it worse. In addition to humidity, what do you have, babe? As far as a con, I started with that one.
yeah, I would say the traffic can be a con. Just like cities in Southeast Asia in general are kind of famous for chaotic traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're from a country with strict traffic rules and regulations, it's very different. So for me, I'm a walker, and it makes walking more challenging because you can't just freely walk.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the green light to cross the road, if you come to a rare intersection where they actually have crossing lights, you still can't really trust it. And just crossing the street in general, there's all sorts of vehicles coming at you, tuk-tuks, motorbikes, and they don't really respect pedestrians. It's really the biggest vehicle gets to go first, and pedestrians are at the bottom of that list.
Yeah, and that was something that Josh was worried about when I was coming out. Like, I'm not gonna be able to cross the street and things like that. But I pretty much just went for it when I got here, and it's just like you just look for your little opening, and most will slow down. Sometimes they won't. So you're like, oh, gotta watch out. And then especially cars, they may not slow down. Most likely they won't. So you just have to be aware of that. And some people will just stand there. they'll stand there until it's like a bare opening. But we look for a little pockets. We start going. We walk quickly, but we go across. So, and the streets are like kind of narrow. Most of the streets are kind of narrow. If you're like doing like in the neighborhoods and things, they're like where houses are. The streets, even where some stores are, the streets are more narrow. So then you think about 2-lane traffic, pedestrians because there's not a sidewalk, so pedestrians are kind of sort of in the street, and so it does make it like a smaller space to be able to navigate. But I think that we're not doing too bad, even considering that. I think we're not doing too bad in our next stop. We think that we're probably going to get something to move around, and that's versus walking.
And
But I still want
also,
to walk if possible. And you just use that when we're like have to go further, but still walk a lot of places in the neighborhood.
yeah, and then also we're in Phnom Penh right now, and the sidewalks are oftentimes blocked. You can't
Mhm.
really walk on the sidewalks. That's
Or
very
angles.
different from the
Mhm.
U.S. as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's one neighborhood in Phnom Penh that's famous. It's known for having open sidewalks. That's how rare it is. It's the most expensive neighborhood called BKK1,
Mm-hmm.
where you actually can walk on the sidewalks. But we're in the process of possibly relocating to Siem Reap. Hopefully, I'm not spoiling anything here. That's a smaller city in Cambodia, and the sidewalks are much more usable up there too. So
Oh,
walking
boy.
should be
Yeah,
easier.
more trees and things. More on that coming soon. But yeah, that's definitely, I agree with that. That's definitely like a con. Now, one thing that we were talking about when we were doing this before is having problems finding specific products. For me, it's products for my hair. I'm worried about when I have to like actually get like a new powder, because I usually do powder, and I usually like low coverage powder. And so I'm hoping I'm going to be able to find that. It feels like I'm like almost out of it. And so that's my main thing that I'm worried about. We order, groceries from Grab, from the different stores, and we've gone to like the mall and all of that. And I'm just not seeing, I looked for mousse, like I gave up because there was like no mousse. So it's just something that's just going to have to be ordered. But not being able to find your products at the ready. That's so you need to, if you are going to travel, you need to see if you're going to be able to get your products. If not, you need to bring some to last you for a little bit so that you can navigate finding it once you're there. That would be a big recommendation for me. And Josh has had some problems finding some things too, right?
Yeah, like shaving products, which you may think is funny since you probably see my beard right now, but I do shave sometimes, and it took me a long time to find razors that are usable. I'm just not used to the quality here, and by quality, I mean really, frankly, a lower quality shaver or razor. And I finally found some that are passable. So I somewhat solved that issue. But for me, sizing is an issue because I'm rather tall. I have long legs and big feet, so it's hard for me to find, especially pants that are long enough and shoes that are big enough. So that's been a challenge.
Yeah, I've been surprised that I've been able to like, because I thought maybe I'd have problems finding clothing, but I have purchased some things, and I've been like getting mediums and things, which I've been surprised. They have mediums and larges, extra larges, but I do know other people have had problems finding for a
Including
larger
this school outfit.
size. Yeah, this is like a jumper that I got at a store. This is a size like I think it's a medium, little ruffle top, and I've picked up some other pieces, and they've either been mediums or larges, but yeah, and because their medium and large is kind of different, they go by a size model, and so, but I've been able to find things. People that are larger than me have been having problems, but yeah, that is definitely something. But there's so many options as far as what you can get. If you can find an alternative for whatever, I would recommend doing that. That way you don't have to worry about, okay, what am I going to do when I have to replace it? A lot of people make stuff themselves. So that's something to consider, and something that I want to do once we do our next step. I want to buy the few things that it takes to like make the hair product for myself. So it's natural and I know what's in it, and I don't have to be like trying to search or whatever. So that's definitely it. So I'm trying to think of another con. I just like, oh, The restrooms, a lot of times you go in there and they may not have tissue to wipe. They do have the sprayer for
The
like
bum
it's
guns.
like kind of like bum guns. So
Sort of
they're
like
kind
their
of
version
bidet.
of a bidet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you'll see that even if it's like a rough looking place, they will have it. And so
It might be a
it's
rough looking bum gun in
Yeah.
the rough looking bathroom now.
and I may not use that one, but they I would just, if they've got tissues, a lot of times it's like a tissue that it looks like an actual tissue, and it's like used for your hand now to wipe your hands and all of that. I would take a couple of those, 2 or 3 of those from the table, just in case, because it's not going to be you don't want to be in there, which I've been in there before, and you don't have any, so it's not fun. So that's one of the things that I'm like, I don't mind throwing it away in the trash because they, because of their septic system, they want, I guess they can clog or whatever. So they ask you not to throw it in the trash can. So most of the trash cans are covered. Some aren't, but most of them have lids. And so they ask you to throw them away and throw away the tissues. But I would definitely do that. Please learn from my mistakes, because yeah, you don't want to have to rinse off and then just, I don't know. I'm not gonna expand on that, but yeah, you just want to make sure you do it. Okay, so that's a con. I think that's all of the ones that I talked about before with the video. And I don't think that right now, I don't think we may have a video later on of more things that we've experienced, but I think as far as cons, for me, that's most. Well, what do you think about what's a pro?
For me, I always have to start with the people. It's such a friendly culture that I immediately felt welcomed here. And it's like such a trustworthy and trusting culture. You can just kind of walk around and you're not afraid, and you feel positive energy coming your way. That's a big plus for me.
I completely agree. I concur. I just, we talked about it in a different video, and being a Westerner and coming to a new place and how it makes a difference. From the beginning, from my very first day here, you pull up along a car or a motorcycle or whatever, and the person don't know what to make of you. They kind of look like, oh, because that person looks different, right? And then you smile at them, and then their face lights up. They have the biggest smiles. Or you'll see like they're sitting down. And it's like all these they're the group of women, and they're just like looking, and then you smile and you like nod at them, and their faces light up. And it's a consistent thing. It's a rarity to get someone that does not smile back. It's very rare. The only people we see doing that, not being friendly, are Westerners, and that's a thing upon itself, unto itself, upon itself. That's just it's definitely different. So it's like I definitely agree with that about the people, for sure. And they may have a nervous laugh sometimes if they don't quite understand, but a lot of them will want to try and speak English with you and have a conversation, and they're asking where you're from. And I just think that there's some great people. They've had struggles. They've had some major things that they in their history they've had to go through a lot, and the fact that they're still so gracious is a testament. I think that's a testament. Another plus, like a pro for me, is being able to slide in and eat food that I love. What? It's like in the US, I go to some places where I go there all the time and they still can't get my order right. Still can't get my order right, and it's not good quality food. And like trying to find a certain type of food that is like good. Of course, there are great restaurants in the US. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes it would be a struggle to find it without onions, because my onion allergy. And it would be like, it's almost like where they'd be like, let me go in the back, take the onions off, or, oh, it's just a little bit, oh, we only do, and it's just like, it's been a rarity for there to be any kind of issue with my food as far as onions go. And I look, and it's funny because we had it happen twice in Siem Reap, and it was like it was a trip. We're not sure why it happened, but I've eaten so many meals. Like seriously, we've because it's so much cheaper just to have a Grab driver bring you the food. Like you think about all the ingredients that they put into one of their dishes. I mean, it'll have like 15 ingredients, and you get it for $3 or something. So why would you cook it? Why would you cook it when you can get and it's delicious?
Yeah, and I feel like you're also supporting local people by using those apps, for lack of a better term, because you know it's not easy to earn a living here. So you're supporting the whole restaurant staff and the delivery rider. They call them riders here because they're on motorbikes. So I feel good about that. Yeah, but the low cost of food in general is a huge plus. I'm eating like the best I ever have as far as healthy, fresh foods. I'm eating fruits now, and we actually have those delivered too, like tropical fruits that are from this region.
Yeah.
And
all in all, the portions aren't huge, and I rarely eat all of my food. Like I rarely eat like the whole thing, and Josh is surprised when I've eaten everything, and I didn't give it. I didn't start feeding him or have it left. He's just like, and it's very rare when that happens, and the portions are not huge, but they're good size.
Yeah, they're just
good,
right.
like for Josh, like where Josh can be satisfied, because he's a big guy, and it's just like it's wild, and so that has been a huge plus, a huge plus, and I think another pro I think is just like their willingness. Like right now, they're really trying to like embrace English and give their children a brighter future and more opportunities. And it's definitely like a pro for us because we definitely are not people that are gonna go to a place and say, I want it the way it was in the US. We want to live like locals, and there's a certain unfortunately there's some things I can't eat because it's not an option. I'm vegan, and I have an allergy, so it's just not. I just can't go up to a street cart and get something. It's just not possible. But they're hustling, and I think that showing that they're trying to improve their city. And I think one of the pros, like, what do you think about this? You can maybe talk about this because a lot of people think it's like underdeveloped. The country's underdeveloped, but they have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like our apartment here it's one of the nicer apartments I've ever lived in. Like when you think about moving to Cambodia, a lot of people assume you're going to be living in like a mud hut or something like that. But this is like a state of the art, beautiful building. Yeah, they really have almost everything you would need. And if anything, I'm worried that they're growing and developing too fast. I just hope that they grow in a healthy direction because we'll probably talk about this more later, but we moved here like for a new life and for adventure, but also it's a form of protest because we're not completely sure about the lifestyle back home. And I just don't want to see this area go in that same direction. So hopefully Cambodia while it's very nice right now, hopefully it continues to grow like in a healthy direction, meaning, environmentally friendly, maybe embracing electric vehicles over combustion engines and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. Do we have anything else for right now?
Nothing comes to mind right now. There's a lot of positives.
There's a lot of positives, and we're hoping that you subscribe and that you'll come back for more videos because we will keep sharing our adventures. We're going to start doing like walking tours and showing you around some of the places that we really love, and then when we start to venture out and do more like historic places and all of that, some of their landmarks and stuff like that you'll get a chance to see them. So thank you for watching. If you're still here, we really appreciate it. And like I said, there's more to come. So make sure you stick around. All right, you stuck around, right? So if you have, please consider subscribing,
Liking, commenting, hyping.
Please consider doing that. We are still babies as far as this goes, and we hope that you'll be along to share our adventures. And please subscribe. That's the most important thing. Subscribe. Okay. All right, guys.
Okay, thank you.